you ever see somebody throw the disc really, really fast, and you're like, damn, I want to know how to do that. I want to be able to do that all the time, but you don't know how? This is the video. Just a couple basic things. Number one, you can't throw over 19 meters per second. There are ways you can get the disc into the goal over 19 meters per second, but you can't actually throw it. Number two, there are no, there's no good ways to throw, really, but there are definitely bad ways to throw. So, I'll tell you the bad ways, but everybody throws differently, so I'm not going to tell you how I throw, because it's not so useful. But I'll tell you how to throw on different kinds of headsets, even though most of you watching this are probably on Quest 2. And number three, aim is always more important than power, and accuracy is always more important no matter what the shot is, because you tell me what makes more sense, me throwing a 1 meter per second into the goal or me throwing a really fast shot to the ground. I think the 1 meter per second makes more sense even if there is a goalie, because what's the point of throwing fast if it's just going to give it to the other team? There's that small little chance that the goalie will miss this, crazy small, but there's a 100% chance that, I don't know what happened there, but there's a 100% chance that does not go in. Number one, this is not a frisbee. I know it looks exactly like a frisbee. It's not a frisbee. Don't confuse it with a real life frisbee. Do not ever throw it alright, first I'm going to talk about Quest and Quest 2. Do not throw it like a frisbee. This is not a frisbee, so don't throw it like this. Ever. There's always a better way to throw it. Unless, you catch it like this and you absolutely have to throw it. But even just, this is kind of awkward for most people if you're just getting started, but even just turning your hand upside down makes such a big difference. This, tell me which looks nicer. That? Or this? It's pretty obvious that the second one looks nicer, even though it's so awkward to turn your hand because you never throw like this in your life. Well, the fastest throw that you're going to get is on Quest or Quest 2 is most likely going to be sidearm. With sidearm, you just want to get your arm back. You want to go like this and then use your wrist at the end. Then with the overhand, basically you just put it over your head, you go like this. I mean, this is not what you should be doing. This is kind of how I throw it. But I know you couldn't really see that, but it's different for everybody. Pretty much just go like that. And again, you want that wrist flick at the end. Then there's underhand. There's a lot of ways to throw underhand. The way I throw it is just, I don't use my wrist at all. If you're on Quest, you don't have to. I pretty much just throw it like this. Don't use my wrist. But I hold it sideways. Again, because we're in space, if you throw it sideways, it won't slow it down. This is no different from that, which is kind of weird to get used to. But it doesn't matter which way the disc goes, since it's not like there's any air or whatever that pushes against it, So I throw it like this. You can also throw it like this or like this. So if you're like this, you do want to, well, actually, you don't have to. You could just swing your arm. It's really whatever feels comfortable, whatever gets fast. But alright, so you can also throw backhand. Backhand is great for aim, not the best for speed. One thing to realize is the difference from 9 to 10 is smaller than the difference from 18 to 19. So if you're at 8, if you can throw 18s, it's harder to throw 19s than it is if you can throw 9s to throw 10s. As you get higher up, it gets harder to get from each. Just like leveling up. When you're level 1, it's really easy to get to level 2. You play one match. When you're level 49, it's much harder to get to level 50 because it gets harder as you level up, just like it gets harder as you throw faster. So if you throw 18, don't be oh, easy to throw 19. But if you can throw a 1, just that's probably a 30, I don't know. Then you should say, yeah, easy to throw 2s. So if you're just starting out and you're not even level 50 yet, if I were you, I'd aim for consistent 15s or 16s as a fast throw, and then you can start building that up. But start with like 15. Try to do sidearm or overhand. I would recommend for speed. You could also do underhand, but unless you're like really good at it, underhand is not the best for speed. See that? I mean, that was probably a 15, but I wouldn't recommend it. Sidearm is probably the easiest, but who knows? It depends on the person, obviously. So throw sidearm or overhand. Just practice in a private, or you could even go into a pub and do it, and just try to get 15s consistently. Then build your way up until you can get really fast. On Quest, you're not going to get consistent 19s, period. You can't. No one gets consistent 19s on Quest. People can throw 19s on Quest, but it's extremely hard, and you need to be going 4.7. Oh, there's another thing I want to talk about. To get faster, it has a lot to do with how fast you're going. So if I'm just standing still, that's the fastest I can throw. Well, not the fastest, but you know. But then if I'm moving, that actually didn't seem like such a difference. But maybe I just didn't throw as fast. Point is, if you're moving, that adds to your speed. So if I'm going 4.7, I get whatever I threw plus 4.7. And if I'm 0, I get whatever I threw. That's it, because plus 0 is the same, right? So even if you can just go 2.2, that helps. So normally you go 4 meters per second with the disc, but if you let go of it and boost into it, and then grab it, so if you're going 5 before you grab it, then you would go down to 4.7. There's no way to get over 4.7 except by breaking the rules, which you can obviously get banned for, so I'm not going to tell you how to do that. Another thing you do not want to do is throwing the disc and keeping it close to you. I see a lot of low levels throwing overhand like this, which doesn't really get you anywhere because you don't have the wind up. If you get a nice wind up, you'll get more speed, just like in real life. In real life, you throw a disc like this, it's gonna fall on the floor. But well, not a disc, because a disc is, it's weird in real life. But if you throw like a ball like that, it'll go somewhere. Okay? Overhand is how I throw it is similar to how you throw a baseball. I'm not sure if that's good, but it works for me. Well, like I said, there really is no good way to throw. There are only bad ways. Another way to throw fast is by anchoring. Basically, with an anchor, you have to be anchored on something. So, like you're holding something. It can be pretty much anything. You can even anchor off the floor, but it's much harder. Some main spots to anchor are like up here, just like anywhere in Bubble, pretty much, is like anywhere people anchor from, for the most part, like any of these. So let's say I'm anchoring from here. I wanna pull myself forward, because when you pull yourself forward, you get a boost. So look, right now I'm at 0.1. I go like that, I jumped up to 4.7. So you want to pull yourself forward, and when you have that speed boost, you want to let go of the disc. Like that. I'm not very good at it, as I told you. You can get 18s like this. I think you can get 19s, but I don't know if anyone has. But I don't think it's like impossible. I'm not sure though. I think they are gonna nerf it soon if they haven't already, so that you can only get 16s. But that might have just been that's just speculation. I'm not sure if that's actually gonna happen. So basically, just to recap Quest and Quest 2, you wanna extend your arm a lot. You wanna get that flick at the end with most throws. You do not want to throw it like a frisbee. You do not want to hold it close to your body like this when you're throwing. And to get some extra speed if you're standing still, anchor. And if you're moving, make sure you're going 4.7 to get the most out of your throw. Okay, so now let's talk about Rift S. I'm not on Rift S, so I don't know too much about how to throw, but I have seen a lot of good players throw. particularly Saluna. She's on Rift S, and she is one of the best throwers in the world, probably. So the way she throws is she uses the shitty Rift S tracking to her advantage. When you throw on Rift S, your arm like extends out and loses tracking forward, usually at least. So what she does is she lets go of the disc, or like stops her throw like around here, and then the bad tracking kicks in and extends it, and when it extends, it goes super fast and gives her that extra power that pushes the disc out. So if you can get the timing right for that, you can throw really fast. Yep. Okay, so now with the Rift. The Rift of CV1 has something called the CV1 flick. I cannot teach it to you because I've never done it before and I don't know how to do it, but basically, you flick your wrist. There might be a tutorial on it on YouTube. If there isn't, then I guess you'll just have to find a Rift player in game and ask them about it. To throw fast, you want to learn the wrist flick, CV1 flick, and that's pretty much. I hope that helped you guys out if you wanted to learn how to throw faster. And I'm sorry if that was a little confusing. If you have any like tips that I can make it less confusing, just put them in the comments and I'll try to incorporate them in my next video.
See you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. Yeah. I never seen anybody do the things you do.